Hey, welcome back. So, if you're just joining us, you are joining us in part 3 of a series that we've been working on. The series is 7 Qualities of Master Achievers by Brian Tracy that Fitz and Heather stole from Brian Tracy. We're relating his material, but commentating based on how it applies to our business and our industry. If you've missed the first 2, I encourage you, just pause this, go back and watch the first 2 first. But if you don't watch them in order, it's not a big deal, right? Number 1 is they are ambitious. The first quality of a master achiever, according to Brian Tracy, is they are ambitious. Number 2, they are courageous. Number 3, they are committed. Number 4, they are professional. Number 5, they are prepared. So today we're going to cover 6 and 7 and land this plane. Number 6, they are continuous learners.
Mm-hmm. We talk a lot about this. I mean, if you've been around any length of time, we talk a lot about a growth mindset. And I think that I apply a lot of this to the way that I raise my kids. Like when they face a problem, I want them to look for a way around it. And to me, that is kind of the concept behind being a continuous learner. And because you find the solutions to your problems in experiences of other people, which is why books are so important. You know, you find them by choosing to look for them. That's a growth mentality, to recognize that there is a solution to the problems that we face. You find them, of course, by nowadays, I mean, we're in the information age.
Oh, my gosh.
So, podcasts and books and articles and magazines, and there's just so many ways. There's preachers out there. There's everything from now, like the Brian Tracys of the world and the John Maxwells. There's just information everywhere for you to grow. The problem usually is we need that perfect word at the perfect time. Mm-hmm. Like we're looking for the solution to the problem that we have. And a lot of times the reason we've got to be continuous learners is it's like we're gathering information for when we face a problem. And so we want to always be in the pursuit of growth, in a growth mindset. How can I grow through this?
When I think of continuous learning, I think of the difference between ignorant and stupid, right? And I joke often, I'm working through this at a self-help group and everything, that I can't stand stupid people. But oftentimes I do stupid things. So I'm not casting stones. I'm in that moment that I do something stupid, I don't like me either. Okay? So I'm included in that group. But the difference between ignorance and stupid, ignorant is when you don't know something.
Right.
And I don't hold that against somebody. But just because you're ignorant of the speed limit doesn't mean that you won't get pulled over and given a ticket if you're speeding.
Right.
Right? But once you now know something, it's imperative that you do something with it. And when you don't, that makes you stupid, I think. That makes me, when I know what to do, I know the truth, but I choose to ignore it and do something different anyway. Mm-hmm. That's in that moment, I will say, that was stupid, right?
Or maybe a less offensive word is foolish, right? I mean, that is such a true statement, what you're saying.
Potato,
when you
potato.
know better.
But just yesterday, I was getting up, and now that we're integrity partners, I see it as awesome. One of the things I get to take advantage of is what they call this life council, and once a month, the kings of the life insurance industry, in my opinion, get together and they talk about kind of the state of the union of integrity marketing and where we're at, and then it is a focus on a specific carrier, and the carrier is talking about their product or the changes that they're making or whatever, and then you get to hear a partner spotlight. So you get to hear from a new partner that came on board, and I was commenting to you the other day, like it's how many of us listen to conference calls and love all the conference calls we listen to? None of us. A lot of us listen to the calls and we go, oh, another call. I got to listen to this, and it's a Zoom call, so I'm going to check email, right? But I really enjoy these calls, and I told you that yesterday. I said I really enjoy this. Sitting and studying life insurance can sound a bit boring, but I feel like the people that I'm listening to talk about it are titans in the industry. I feel like I'm the little kid sitting at the kids' table at Thanksgiving dinner. I get to now listen to the adults talk and what they're talking about, and I feel so good about it. I come out of there, and I've always got something that I got from that call, and I can go apply. And you said that's just sort of you. And you read to one of our friends as well. The two of you are just like that. You love gathering information and then doing something with it, like and sharing it with other people and how it can impact them. And I said, yeah, if we could just figure out how that could actually help us. And you're like, look around. It's done pretty good for us. Right? I was like, oh, I guess so. So being a continuous learner, I don't know if that was something that's just been drilled in my head since I was young, or if it's just something I just naturally inside me I love to do. But I love to read. I love to learn. I was talking to my friend Adam the other day, and he's like, how many books a year are you still reading? I was like, I still read 100. He said, do you keep a track? I said, I don't, but man, if it's not 100, it's really dang close. But the more I read, the more I find that there are a lot of overlaps out there, and people who are writing books, or people who are creating a video podcast that's regurgitating something Brian Tracy said. A lot of it's just it kind of gets repetitive. But when you soak in that material, what happens at that point is you start finding the little things, the little nuances that somebody else added to this material that can help you.
Right.
And so initially you're just trying to soak as much as you can, and then eventually you get full, and now you're looking for, how did they put it that I can apply? Or, now that I've heard that, is there somebody in my life that can apply to? And it's like you said, we've done a podcast on the books and the videos and podcasts and CDs and MP3s and all these, seminars and meetings and all that sort of stuff. But I was glad to read that Brian Tracy said one of those traits of master achievers is continuous learners. And I feel like all of the people that I would put in that category of master achievers are definitely continuous learners. Mm-hmm. They always say every leader is a reader, but not necessarily every reader is a leader. But definitely every leader I know reads a lot. So that was number 6. They are continuous learners. Number 7, they are responsible. Responsible. I feel like we live in a day and age where responsibility is almost a cuss word. It's almost a swear word in some ways. Like, I feel like, it's the constant, I didn't do it. It was them. That's not my fault. I didn't do that. I feel like it's really prevalent. We didn't do that, so it's got to be that person that did it. And I think that it's really sobering to review these notes from Brian Tracy and go, okay, I have to take responsibility 100% of the time for me. Mm-hmm. For me and the things I do. I can't take responsibility for what the world does, but I can take responsibility for what I do and how I choose to react to the world. Mm-hmm. You've been talking a lot about this lately.
Well, I think it's a freeing concept as well, because like he says, you are the president of your own life. So that does mean, like you're saying, sometimes we have to stop and we got to feel the pain or the regret of a decision that we made. But it also means that I get to decide where I go from here. And I don't know why, to me, that is freeing, because I think it's just really easy that we are subconsciously lying to ourselves that we don't have the control of our future. I understand that there are always outside things that are going to happen. As some of you listening to my voice have had unexpected diagnoses, that there are things. You get an unexpected loss of a loved one. There's always things that we cannot control that are going to come in and be like a wrecking ball into what the direction we think we're going. But even when that happens, just like you just said, we are still president of our lives. We choose how we respond to that. We choose the direction that we want to go. We choose the people that we're going to trust their guidance and their experience. We choose the books we're going to listen to. We choose the way we're going to spend our time. We choose how we spend our money. We choose how we treat other people. And then I go to bed at night sleeping well, knowing that I'm doing my best to make the best choices I can make. They may not always be perfect, but I'm doing my best, and that I know that if I didn't get something quite right yesterday, I've got the opportunity to get it right tomorrow. And that, I don't know, that's why I think it's actually, to me, I agree with you. But the people who are not living and owning the responsibility of their own lives are actually living a very caged, unfree life. in my opinion. They're very unhappy underneath it all. And I think that the reality is that again, I talk about my kids a lot because I'm in this stage with my children, but it's like I want more than anything for them to understand this. This is why they have to be responsible for their own lives, because it's a freeing way to live life, to know that I have the choice to go from here where I want to go. And it's the reason why, though, when you begin to live that way, that the rest of these principles are so important. It's why you've got to be a continuous learner, because I'm responsible for the choices I make tomorrow, so I better be learning about what is best for me to do. It's why I need to choose to live my life as an ambitious server of other people. All of these things, I can't remember them all. It's why I need to be professional and be prepared. And I'm going back through them and forgetting them, and I'm sure you're going to recap them for me in 2 seconds. But this is why those things matter, because we are the president of our own lives.
Now, just this morning, I was listening to a John Maxwell podcast, and Mark Cole, who's the CEO of John Maxwell Companies, was commenting on something. And the talk was John Maxwell was talking about how and why his life is compounded, and it's by empowering leaders ultimately. But Mark Cole was saying, people just think that when the opportunity arises, that's when I'll show up. He's like, no, that's when you'll show out.
Right.
At that point, what you've been doing leading up to that opportunity, that's when it's going to show up. That's when it's going to show up. Mm-hmm. You're not going to suddenly magically be great when the opportunity arises. It's the preparation leading up to it, and that's your responsibility, right? So, all right, to recap it, and I'm reading them so I don't forget them.
Good job.
Number 1, 7 qualities of master achievers by Brian Tracy. Number 1, they are ambitious. Number 2, they are courageous. Number 3, they are committed. Number 4, they are professional. Number 5, they are prepared. Number 6, they are continuous learners. And number 7, they are responsible. We really do hope that this has blessed you and that you can do something with this to better your own life and get you further along your journey from your point A to your point B. Love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Hey, now that you know, you know.